Hey, what's up, Seekers? Wanugee with GoldenDragonFortunes, your K-Rap sidekick. Hey, and today we're going to be doing something different and new. Another exposure to another technique for fortune telling. And we're going to be talking about, we're going to do a particular person, K-pop idol, and this week, and that is EXO. So all you EXO-Ls, come on in, welcome. And we're going to do Park Chanyeol. So Channy, or whatever you call his nickname, Park Chanyeol, and talented, very talented idol of EXO. As you EXO-L know, he sings, he raps, he dances, he acts. He's been on TV, he's been on film, on commercials. So he's very talented, and he's loved by many, like you EXO-Ls. We're going to kind of see what's coming up in this future over maybe the next, roughly about the next year. And we're going to use a new technique I haven't done before, kind of an ancient technique. It's kind of Northern European, maybe Scandinavian, German, Icelandic. The folklore or the myths or the tales of that area had to go back to the Viking days, almost 2,000 years ago perhaps, where it all first started. With Germanic tribes and the Scandinavian Viking culture and the Icelandic explorer culture. And a lot of these tales that came from that culture, that area, are shown up in movies, movie and entertainment. So, Wagner's epic opera, the three-stage opera called The Ring, is based from that area. The movie, The Lord of the Rings, that trilogy of movies that came out, with Frodo and all those people in Middle Earth, that's from the same area, from the stories and the myths of that area, Scandinavia basically. And what came from that area as far as fortune telling are something called the runes, R-U-N-E-S, not iTunes, but runes. And maybe so what we're doing here maybe is iRunes perhaps, but that's what we're going to use to kind of figure out what's coming up in the next year for Chanyeol from EXO. And so here they are. So I kind of pulled them already, so let's kind of take a look at them and see what they say. Now this spread that I have here is kind of a 12-month spread. It's called the 8-fold wheel spread because we have 8 runes here, and they kind of go in a circle like a wheel. And we're going to start perhaps right in front of you, and then go clockwise around and back again. So that's why it's a wheel. There's 8 tiles, 8 runes. These are obsidian runes, beautiful black stone. And we'll start here. This position here is the summer solstice, and that starts June 22nd. And then we rotate over here, and this is roughly August 1st. And this position in the runes is called LUGHNASA. And then we go over here, which is roughly 9 o'clock on the watch dial here. And this position is the fall equinox. And this is called shedding, the autumn equinox shedding in the system. And this is roughly September 22nd. This position is called SAMHAIN, represents roughly November 1st. And then we go up here, or down there from your point of view, depending on your perspective. And this is the winter solstice. This is December 22nd, the official day of winter, really. This position here is called the IMBOLC. And the IMBOLC represents roughly February 1st. And then over here, this is the spring equinox. And this is roughly March 22nd. And it's called Ostara. And then you go up here, this is going to be roughly May 1st. It's called Beltane. So those are the positions on this 8-point wheel spread for the runes. It's called casting. When you rune cast, this is how you cast the runes, one of the ways. And this is the layout that we're going to use. It roughly represents about a year. And we're going to interpret these influences for Park Chanyeol for his future. So let's take a look and see what they say. Let's start with this June 22nd, because we're in June and that's coming up very soon. and see what that tile represents. And so this tile, it kind of looks like an M, the letter M. What this M stands for, it's called the horse. It's called the EHWAZ, and the EHWAZ, or the horse, represents mobility, movement. The horse is always on the move. And so it symbolizes that there's going to be some new things happening, maybe around that time, maybe a little later. So something is moving. So it seems like maybe they're coming, I think EXO may be coming back, making a comeback, maybe early July, so maybe that has to do with it, but we'll have to see. And then if we go over here to about August 1st, this one comes up. It looks like an N, but it's actually called, in the runes, it's called EXO or EXO, and it represents disruption, that there may be around August 1st, there's going to be a little bit of change in plans. There's going to be something that happens that may disrupt things in some way in Chanyeol's life, or in his career, or to some aspect. And then the next tile here, which is representing the fall, the autumn equinox, September 22nd, around that time frame. And this one here in the runes is called, it kind of looks like a B or a P upside down, or depending on your point of view. From your point of view, I guess it's a B, but it's backwards. This is called a Winjo. Winjo represents joy, joy, happiness, but it's kind of maybe not aspected correctly. It's a little bit upside down or backwards, and so it may imply that there's going to be maybe some inability to find joy, or to kind of let go and just appreciate joy. So perhaps there's a little bit of disappointment that may be coming up around this time for Chanyeol, and that's roughly late September. And then as you go up here, you get to this rune. Here it is, kind of looks like a diamond. And this rune is called, what it represents is called the god Ing. So there's a Norse god named Ing. This rune is called EXO. And what it represents is kind of a manhood, or kind of a embracing the male energy, perhaps the strength and power, perhaps maybe the sexuality. So it represents those kinds of things, in a broader sense, the feeling of exerting your manhood as a man. And it kind of, there's other circles that kind of suggest that it looks a little bit like a double helix, like the DNA. So in a more spiritual point of view, it represents kind of the essence of the continuation of a lineage, of a person, of a community, perhaps a group. And so it represents that there's going to be a lot of that energy kind of focused roughly November, early November or so. And as you go up here and look at this top tile for you, this is called, it looks like an I or an L, or a line, and it's called Isa, or ice. And so ice, in this culture, in this tradition, represents a difficult time, maybe even some a little bit of danger. I think in this case it's moving up to the modern time, maybe not so much danger. It means there's some kind of rigidity, there's not a fluidity, there's maybe a lack of flow. So it seems like things kind of are icing up a little bit. There's kind of cold energy to some degree. And this is around December. I mean, obviously it's going to be cold in Korea around that time, but I think this has to do more about what's going on perhaps in his life or his career, that things seem to be a bit rigid and not kind of flowing as he would like. And as we go over here, roughly another month or two, and this rune kind of looks like a bee a little bit. What this is called BERKANA. And BERKANA, I mean literally, and this represents birth, but I think from a broader point of view, what it means is that there may be the time to start something new. So the beginning of something new may be happening, which on this wheel is the IMBOLC period, and so it's roughly February. So it seems like there maybe it's a comeback or something new, a new project, something of that sort that may be emphasized around this time. And then as we go up here, this is the spring equinox, which is around March 22nd or so. And this rune shows up, kind of looks like a S or a Z or something like this. And what this is called EHWAZ. EHWAZ is symbolic of a transition. There's going to be some kind of transition starting to happen here, a shift in some way. I don't know if that's a shift of focus or kind of a transition from one phase to the next phase, but that's kind of what it means. So he may be transitioning. I don't know if that's, that's something to do with, his solo work versus EXO or EXO, maybe some project with a subunit, SAMHAIN, something like that. But something's changing around this time, and it's around March 22nd, more or less. And then the last tile here looks a little bit similar, but looks a little more like a lightning bolt or a little bit more stylized S. And in this position, it represents roughly May 1st or so. And kind of looks like a lightning, and it well should, because it's called the sun, swallow. And the sun is a very positive tile. It says that things are going to be open up and brighter and more successful. It's kind of bringing the brightness of the day. So it seems like there's going to be some positive things that happen roughly in about May of next year. So maybe about 11 months from now, 12 months from now, 10 months from now or so, there's going to be some positive things that happen. And on a deeper level, the sun represents the higher self. So it seems like it's enlightenment. Not just the brightness and the success, but maybe some enlightenment and some expansion and growth for Chanyeol in maybe a deeper way, roughly a little less than a year from now. So that's what the runes say for Chanyeol from EXO. So you EXO-L, thanks for coming by and watching. Maybe if you can make some comments, give me some feedback, tell me what you think, maybe ask about other members of EXO or other groups, your favorite idol, your stan, who you want to know more about for the future. Just make your comments and we'll try to reply to them or get to them as soon as we can. But thanks for watching. This is kind of trying to introduce different ways of doing this fortune telling for you to get your mind thinking a little bit and participating. But the next thing we're going to do for him is do a tea leaf reading for all you shippers out there. I know there's a lot of you shippers, and you probably want to kind of see what's out there, what kind of clues the tea leaves give for some of your favorite ship combinations. So we'll do that next. So let me go get the tea leaves and get them ready, and then we'll read them together, or you're going to take a look at them, and I'll just kind of help you along. All right? Okay, you shippers. Here we are with the tea leaves for Chanyeol, Park Chanyeol. And we're going to start right here at this little symbol here. And that's going to be roughly now. And then we're going to go, every time you see this is probably about 3 months or long. And so, is there anything you see here that might be some clues, some symbols? Now, they could be letters, they could be Hangul letters, they could be English letters, they could be numbers, they could be, maybe you see some animals, maybe there's animals that might reflect in the Chinese astrology, the 12 animals of the Chinese zodiac. The other, also there could be some animals that maybe look like the months perhaps of somebody's birth date or something like that. So that may be a clue. There's also other symbols that you're probably not aware of, but there are other symbols that mean certain things. So it could be other animals, it could be buildings, it could be objects, it could be architecture, bridges, stars, moons, all kinds of possible imagery that may have a meaning in the tea leaves. And if you see something like that and you want to put it in the comments and say, hey, I saw this and what does that mean? And if you ask, and if I have time, I'll probably give you some examples of what that might mean for you as you try to interpret it. But I want you to do the interpretation here because, you know, every shipper has their own point of view. And so I want you to kind of figure out what may be symbolic for you. And so here we are. This is some really interesting stuff right here in this group. But as we kind of go over here and rotate, looks like there's a lot of interesting things here too. Symbols that, you know, use your imagination here. Kind of see what you see. Is there, you know, there's different things here. It looks like there's a little mail. Is that a little envelope? Like maybe it's a little email or something, or some mail. Here's something that may be, what is that? A ribbon? Or is that a little bird flying up there? Or what do you see, you EXO-Ls? What's over here? This is roughly 3 or 4 months down the road. Looks like, is that a little microphone on a stand? Maybe that's another bird. Maybe that's a rooster. A little small rooster. What do you see? Then we go over here. This is getting over roughly about 6 months from now. And what do you see over here? Any symbols that might give you some clues? Letters, numbers, animals that might represent Chinese astrology or Western astrology months. Or there may be other things, you know, other symbols that might have a meaning. Could be anything. This person head over their heel. Is that like a person head over their heels? Is that, you know, am I just imagining that or what? Or jumping perhaps? Something of that sort. Use your imagination, EXO-L. Usually the longer sticks, you know, maybe have more of a male kind of energy to it. The shorter stick has more of a female energy to it a little bit. There's a little jasmine flower there. This is jasmine tea. So maybe see some things there. That may be symbols for you to give you some ideas about what's being shipped or what's possibly shipped. Do you see anything, EXO-L? Come on, you shippers, you Chanyeol shippers. Is it Suyu? Is it Sana? Is it Lisa? Is it Rose? Is it Irene? Is it, you know, pick some idols, whoever you're shipping with. Is it somebody from Momoland or G-Idol or what? He's kind of older. I mean, he's 26. So I don't think he's going to go for somebody too young. But you never know. So anyway, put down your ship ideas. Put them in the comments. You know, like and subscribe. And tell me what you see. And you're going to be the fortune teller here. You're going to be the shipping fortune teller. And so why don't you put in your comments and let us know. All right. So anyway, so until next time, until we have a time to meet again on YouTube, like and subscribe. We'd appreciate it. Give us your comments. And until next time, wishing you all good fortunes.
I'm your K-rap psychic. Try me twice, you'll like it. My name is Wanugee. OGs call me Wanugee. I'm a wise fortune teller and a really mellow fella. Ask me about your favorite idol. See their future, see what's vital.